Well, hello, this is Keith Klein. I'm the instructor for both the IVYT 120 80N and 08N. This is a message for the students in the IVYT 120 courses, primarily for those of you that are in the online course, but I'm going to say things that apply to both, so let's get going. Number one, many of you have yet to send me a fantasy name. Worse than that, some of you who did send me a fantasy name decided not to read any of the instructions that I gave you, namely one word, no longer than 10 letters, and no numbers. When you send me names of actors that have a first name and a last name, even with no space in them, that is still 2 words. It's kind of beyond me that you're a college student and you wouldn't read the basic directions on how to do things. You've got to do that in order to succeed in this course. And many of you are just totally lost when information is there that would help you immensely. Now, I don't do very well writing long email messages trying to explain to you what you may not know. It's better if you contact me on the phone and I can talk you through it, especially if you're in front of your computer at the time we're talking. We can kind of go through things and figure them out. There are roughly 6, sometimes 7 triads per chapter. Many of you haven't quite understood what you're supposed to do, so let's try this one more time. Do the triad. Do not send me the triad, the study quiz, the journal, anything. The only thing you will send to me is a reflection paper based on your having done the triad and your having looked at to try to help solve the case of. You got it? You're sending me a reflection paper on each of the triads and on the case of. There's a case of in every chapter. Some of you sent me Jerry's Day the first week. You know what? You didn't read the syllabus because it didn't say that it was due the first week. Some of you are sending me stuff that just defies the instructions. The instructions are 1 page, double-spaced, and a full page, double-spaced. This is something I got this week. I'm covering up the name of the person who sent it to me. You don't have to be able to read it in order to see that, number 1, it's single-spaced, and number 2, it's like 1 inch maybe of stuff there, and it doesn't begin to fulfill the requirements of the class. Here's another instance of someone who sent me something. It's half a page at best, and it also, there's some instructions there about type font, at least a 12-point type font, or a 12-point, not at least, so that my old eyes can see it. If I have to get a magnifying glass out to read it, you're not doing very much to help yourself in this class. You should send me the triads as an attachment, the triads and the case of, as an attachment to 1 email message. Do not send me an email message for every single triad. You must send me, as you are instructed, the format for the reflection papers must be .doc, .docx, or .rtf, rich text format. If you send it to me in any other format, number 1, I can't open it. Number 2, I'm not going to try to open it. And number 3, that means you don't get a grade on it. So there are a lot of things. This sounds really harsh because I lose all patience when we bend over backwards to try to explain things. If anything, there may be too much information there on how to do things, and then people don't read what's there and then ask me a question about, well, what do I do with this? How am I supposed to do this? When it's clearly all there and answered there. Now, if there's an exception to that, tell me. Also, you've been instructed on how to send me things. It says on the subject line, farthest left, tell me you are in IVYT 120, and then it's either 08N or 80N. Then put a dash in, and then what is it you're doing? Are you sending me Chapter 1 triads? All right, or Chapter 1 reflection papers, however you want to say that. Then, at the top of each reflection paper, you must label it. Chapter 1, Triad 1. Chapter 1, Triad 2. Chapter 1, Triad 3. Chapter 1, The Case of Sleepless in Seattle or Clueless in Seattle. I get the movie and the title of the that particular exercise mixed up. But Your name must be on the paper. The identification of what the triad is or what the paper is about must be there. And then when you send me the message, your message must say Chapter 1, and then what it is, triads. Chapter 2, triads. If you send me something that says Triad 1, there is a Triad 1 in all 16 chapters. I'm not going to look to try to figure out what it is. People, there are some really easy ways to do things, and there's some really hard ways to do things. The exam schedule is posted. Some of you did not take the first exam. There are no makeups. I'm sorry, the exam's posted. You've got to follow the exam schedule and take the exam when it's scheduled. In the online class, you have a discussion board you need to do each week, and there are specific instructions on what you are supposed to do. Please follow those instructions. Please don't fail to post it, and post it on time. If you miss posting it on time, then that's the same as being late in class. And if you miss it by more than 24 hours, then it's the same as not attending class. Okay. There are specific penalties for failure to attend class. You may want to pay attention to those too. There's a schedule for the discussion boards posted. There is a schedule in the syllabus called Course Calendar, and it tells you each week everything you have to do. All right? I've got people already telling me things about, well, when do I have to turn in this, and when do I have to turn in that? It's there. The dates are there. Please look at this stuff. All right? Now, let's talk a little bit about you in this class. This class is the only class you may ever take in college that is about you. You get that? It's about you. There aren't any right answers. There aren't any wrong answers. There are only your answers. So what you need to do is you do the triad, and the triad will have you do some exercise of some sort. And then I want you to write a one-page, double-spaced, 12-point type reflection paper about what you got out of doing the exercise. Now, I'll be honest with you. There will be times when you may think that this exercise did nothing for me. And in that case, if you write 1 or 2 sentences, you are not going to do well on the reflection paper, because I have no idea why it meant nothing to you or it didn't do anything for you. So imagine I'm that little bitty kid at your hip that is saying, "Why, Mommy? Why? Why, Daddy? Why? How come, Daddy? How come?" And then keep answering the question. Why didn't it do anything for you? Well, it'd be something maybe you would say, I understand this class has people that are just out of high school in it. I've been out of high school for 20 years. I've got a family. I understand why college is important, and I understand why it's important for the following reasons. And boy, before you know it, you've written a full page. Now, again, it's about you, so you don't have to do any research. You don't have to look anything up. You don't have to source anything. It's not an English class, so we're not going to go nuts about grammar and spelling. However, do not text spell to me. The word you is spelled Y-O-U. I don't ever want to see the letter U for that. Spell the words correctly. This is not a text sending course, and try to do the best you can on grammar. If you consistently fail to proofread your own papers, then it's going to affect your grade. Okay? You should, on your first paper, be in the high 70s, maybe even the 80s, and I will be posting grades. I've got a bad cold that's hitting me now, so I'm going to be leaving the office and go home and try to sleep this cold off, and I'll try to get grades posted, if not this weekend, by Monday or so, and you'll get an idea how you are. That's why we need a fantasy name. If you didn't send me the fantasy name, you're not going to know who you are when you see the grades posted. I have given colors to some people. I've got a red, a blue, and a green. You know what? Red, blue, green, you're not going to know who you are when you see the grades. I post the grades this way so you can see how you're doing in this class in comparison to everyone else in the class. If your grades were only posted on the grade book in Blackboard, you would only see your grade for that assignment and have no idea how you did. You may have done the best of anyone. You may have done the poorest of anyone. You have a right to know that. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, call me in the office. Do the work. Don't get behind. This is a class that has a lot of assignments. They're not hard, but there are a lot of them, and you start to get behind in this class, it gets very difficult to catch up. Observe all the deadlines, turn in all the papers, do a decent job on the papers. Generally, I don't give Fs. I will give Ds, but I don't give Fs if you make an effort. That's the key, if you make an effort. If you go about it half-heartedly, and you go about it with a kind of an attitude of, well, it doesn't make any difference, and this class is a blow-off or whatever, that's what your grade's going to be reflected as at the end of the semester. Okay? Have a good semester. Have a good weekend. Hope the snow goes away real fast and it gets warmer soon. Spring is not that far away. Baseball practice is going to be starting soon, and we're going to forget about how nasty this winter was. I'll talk to you next time, also in video. Have a good one.